Ani, Bonjour, Kwekwe, Tanzi, Scano. Hello, it's Catherine and Brian from Moonstarlodge in South Central Ontario in the Georgian Bay area, bringing you on a chilly day the reading for March 2nd to 8th, and it's a doozy. We pulled out a bunch of decks and I pulled them out. Brian has doused them specific to this next 2 weeks and the blood moon, which is a full total lunar eclipse on March 3rd. So that's happening in our weekly reading. We're still in Ways the Truth, the grandmother of justice, divine law, way of right relationship, and the cards that, I should say the decks that I got inspired to pull. I did get one inspired for spring, and but then I got Brian to douse through the decks, and that one had to be pulled. It's not quite time. So when that got pulled, I asked, what is the right timely set of decks? And a lot of it has to do with our relations. It's as if the veil is having one last kick at the can here, and the veil has thinned. And so, okay, I do have to say, so I don't forget it, it came up in last week's reading that Spirit wants to speak to us. And we need to make the means available to them. Take an old tape recorder, if you have a micro cassette recorder, put a clean, fresh tape in it, set it out, ask some questions, invite your ancestors, of course, the house spirits, your angels, guides, teachers, all the whole gang in spirit. Invite them to leave messages for you and let the tape run to the end. This has to be carefully done so that other noises don't get misinterpreted. The other thing to look for are what's called cledons. Cledons are, your eye focuses on a license plate in the next lane, and there's a word on it that's strikingly important to what you're thinking about. It could be a billboard. It could be passing people in the grocery store and hearing the snippets of a conversation that isn't directed at you, but the message of the words that you hear is directed. Tuning a radio station, or tuning to a radio station with white noise, like between stations, and just starting to talk to your ancestors and teachers and listening for the words. Those are important. The energy is right for that kind of synchronistic message to come through, as Jung would have called them. Anyway, Brian, let's go to the cards. So here we have some art cards that I love using personally, so much so I had to tape the box back together today before we started. That's the main deck, and one of each of the other decks. And you'll see what those decks are on the pictures that we post. So, just so you know, it is my birthday this week, and my birthday is March 2nd. So I find having a few little chuckles at these cards, because the first card is the Two of Cups. This can mean love between two people. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink over there, old guy. It can mean just being at peace with oneself, the animus and the anima. It could mean just the kind of balance, body and soul, that we need to be in sync on this earth. It doesn't always mean partnership. It means also unification of oneself. So it's being at peace. And the Knight of Rings, which is the same as the Knight of Pentacles, is the ancestor card shining down on this significator, because this is the significator always for the readings that I do. And this Knight of Pentacles is the slow moving. He's not the fast one of all the knights. He is the slow moving, thoughtful, planting his fields, observing. He's the one in the Rider-Waite deck on the Clydesdale. He's not putting that in a race. It's the thoughtful knowledge that what you plant is going to be harvested. He doesn't have to go around digging up freshly planted seeds to see if they're going to grow. There's a patience here. There's a knowledge. There's a determination for success. So the ancestors are determined to help you in this way, to help us all. This is a collective reading, to maintain the balance that we have in our relationships and within ourselves. The second card is the Seven of Pentacles, and this is fulfillment from a good job well done. This person is no longer a mentee, but very much able to accomplish. It's staying on top of our awareness, and there's no self-aggrandizement here. This is all about you've earned it. You've earned your stripes. You've earned the merit badge. You've earned the pay raise here in whatever it is that we do. This always suggests to me in most decks like physical labor, but it isn't always that. And it's clarified by the As Is card. It's an act of love. The act of love that we're being reminded to observe is the act of love of self, of our families, our relationships, and what we do. It is an act of love to stay committed to what it is that we've put our efforts into for long enough to be this efficient at it. So the other part of an act of love is a conscious emotional, because love is an emotional as well as intellectual and physical paradigm, to recognize the stars and the ancestors are here. Recognize that these things that we are doing, that we are accomplishing, we need to acknowledge ourselves for the good that we do. The next card here is the Page of Swords. So this is chatter, communication, but the page is a newbie. They're just like a young teenager in a sense of maturity, not quite always as mature as we'd like. That essence is to watch your tongue, and this comes up again at the end of this reading. The Page of Swords is about fast communication of all kinds. It's verbal, it's online, it's communicating with others on social network. It's being careful what we release. We don't spread gossip. We don't talk down people. We are just meant to show that we have the active mind, the young, doesn't need coffee before they speak kind of communication that is carefully done so others aren't hurt, because wounding is not what this week is about. It's clarified here, the spirits would have us clarify this with the Nine of Wands. So the defending of what we do. We've come so far, we're near the end of this journey, this fire filled, spiritually infused ending of a project of some description. This is the fire element. And so we are defending our work from others, and that's important. We would be put in the position to defend our work from others and feel beaten down if we let slip things that shoot ourselves in the foot, as they say. We can't be responsible for being put in the position of defending. So be careful what you say, and be careful how much of what you're doing you let out to others. The Ten of Swords. I asked Brian to douse, is this really part of this week's reading? And it suggests that there's the end of something that no longer serves us. What that is, what we have to put down, we are not going to get a new incubating idea unless we let go of something. I'd like to say we're all letting go of winter, but that's not what this card really means. Letting go of attitudes, letting go of beliefs, letting go of situations which no longer serve us. And this is an interesting card that clarifies it. This is called double vision. These two dogs dressed up here look like sisters. They are sisters according to the card, and but they're each defined a little differently. They're carrying different things, and they're looking in different directions. And what this suggests is that the situation that we're putting down, whether it's physical, emotional, intellectual, or spiritual, may look like it's one thing, but in fact, it's really something else that's very close but different. So really analyze well what it is you're letting go, and recognize that double vision gives us a way out into a new direction sometimes. I will talk about this card in a minute. The Lovers. So here we go from the Two of Cups to the actual Major Arcana cup, Major Arcana card, the Lovers. So this is choice. This is choosing. It's a more amplified thing. This is kind of day-to-day life, whereas this is karmic in nature. Making choices. Making clear about who, what, or whatever is influencing our choice-making mind. So this is commitment. We're committing to choices. This could be a relationship. This could be a situation. It could be employment. It could be a decision to move. It could be buying a car. But whatever it is, we have to be careful. And how Spirit is communicating to us about this is the concept of union, which I thought, wow, that's quite synchronous that this card, which is from a different deck, obviously. This oracle is talking about union. This is union, of course. We're uniting something in balance. We're making choices. But this card represents spirit. So there is a gentle reminder here that to bring spirit, the union of spirit, into our decisions and choices. There is no escaping. We are of spirit. We return to spirit. And the ancestors, guides, and teachers want you to know that you can include them to get more guidance and more information about what this choice relates to. The choice I have to make this week will be different from the choice every other person, within certain categories is making. But just include spirit. We often don't. And this is the Three of Cups. This is party like it's 1989. This is include your friends in your celebrations. This suggests the success of the week has come, and it's so important. This card is about the inner child. It's from the inner child deck, and it says that we need to review our responsibilities. Not all responsibilities are ours to hold. The indirect implication of this card is if we're holding on and doing all kinds of stuff we really don't need to be doing because people have crossed our boundaries, or we don't have any boundaries. The idea here is that we will have more time to frolic and celebrate and be in balance if we let go of things that are not our responsibility. That does include relationships. If there's a relationship or a person you're trying to be with because you feel beholden and you feel that you're helping them or whatever, let that go. Whatever this is for each one of us will be different. But it is important that we let go of things that no longer serve us and that we don't need to hold on to. And that's also reflected in this card. The last card here is the Seven of Swords. There's a couple things this could mean. This could mean being stealthy, moving through life, holding our swords close to our chest, not letting people know, being surreptitious. It can also apply to, grabbing things and running, as if in stealing. When I looked at this card, I, again, got Brian to dose to make sure that was part of this scenario today. And it is. Nimke agrees too. It is from the point of being strategic and not opening one's mouth. It comes back to relating, to being careful what comes out of our mouths down here. Being strategic is clarified by unraveling. Unraveling doesn't mean destroying something, like unraveling a sweater or something getting ripped apart. Unraveling here is the unfolding of a lotus flower. Something is held so tight that it just looks like a bud. But in order to let it be in its glory, to let it manifest, it has to be relaxed and unraveled a bit to let the beauty out. And that's in relationship here. We can be strategic and hold things in our chest, to our chest, but if we aren't getting help or seeking help, if we don't unravel a little bit and open up, it may be to our detriment. I didn't know why they wanted me to pull this card. Not this exact card, but a card from this particular Lenormand. But it's a beautiful deck. And I got the very card that comes on the cover of the book. And it's birds. Birds ties into the communication that's talked about here and here. But birds, generally speaking, this is a totem for us. And this is the birds that fly closest to the Creator. The ones that transmit our prayers when we smoke pipe or do ceremony. These, with the flapping of their wings, draw the smoke, our prayers, to the Creator. The communication that this card references is with the Creator. And when we go to that source, that sense of source, whatever that means to you, it means something different to me. It means consciousness to me, not a being with a beard somewhere out there. This is the higher consciousness. This is Source. So the communication from Source is available going up, and it's available coming down to us. And we always have this open to us. We're just being reminded in several of these cards, as is this one here, reviewing responsibilities, awakening, the Union card. All of this suggests not forgetting that we have allies in spirit. Okay, Brian, you can flip the camera. So I didn't put on my birthday hat, but I did get my hair cut, and I'd like to thank Dean for your wonderful birthday contribution. That touches my heart deeply, my old friend. Thank you. And let's hope this weather clears up now. Anyway, from Brian and I, miigwech, aho, peace.